Hello everyone and welcome back to Sawyer Studios, and I am here to determine which is the best Republic Starfighter that you can use in just playing with Lego. I remember when I was a kid and I would do the classic Lego battles. My favorite one by far, and I actually comment down below what your favorite battle is to reenact. My favorite one to reenact was the second battle of Geonosis, where like they create the circle. I had my Republic dropship and gunship and like my ATT Walker and all the stuff that I had. I tried to make a circle, and that was really fun. So obviously, when you're having a Lego battle as a kid, you're gonna have a gunship. You have to have a gunship. That's like a must-have because you have to be able to carry infantry. So here's your toy gunship. You got your infantry locked inside. Here's the question. What starfighter are you using in your other hand to break through the separatist line to get through? I mean, you're flying through the house, one hand holding the gunship, other hand's holding a fighter to help blast through the blockade. Which fighter are you choosing? So I'm gonna talk about which fighter I would choose. We're not gonna talk about minifigs, we're not gonna talk about whatever, we're just gonna talk about the Lego set and how well they do with showing off these fighters. Of course, this set comes with Bon Krell, comes with a really cool 501st pilot, and the OG 501st Phase 2 Clone Trooper. This one comes with Captain Jag, Episode 3 Clone Pilot, the Astromech, and Keep Fisto. And I do believe this ship only comes with a Clone Pilot. And I'm just realizing that this sticker is coming off. Did I buy this on eBay? This is sad. So first off, we're going to go through every single step of what fighter might be the best one to use in just playing around. Now, this fighter, I have to say, is at the lowest as far as it comes with taking off. I know a lot of like the functionality of the ship and bringing it into an attack mode is like so fun. Like if I had this in a battle and these doors were open, I'm running men in, I'm putting them there. You could do like the and close the door, and then you have the and make the noises and all that stuff, and then it flies away. And that's pretty cool. Wow, this set is like getting. What is this like? These white pieces are like getting yellowed or something. Is it the light? As far as taking off goes, I mean, all you have to do is like put a guy in there, close that up, and then this just lifts up and then flies away. Not so much fun there, not a lot of functionality. This one I'd say is second, because at least you have a lock as foils, and you have 3 pilots to put in, and arguably an astromech droid. You can put them all in there, close it up, get them all ready to go, lift this bad boy up, and then you have the gear in the back, and you can turn it as fast as you can. Oh gosh, takes a while. These old gear rubber band ones, and then boom, you got Locus foils ready to go. That's a cool feature. It does take a while. It is a little slow, but it is cool to like put it in attack mode and then go off and fly and escort your gunship. I have to give the Torn B19 Starfighter, even though it is the very first Starfighter that the Republic used in the Clone Wars, I'm going to have to give this one the best for a couple reasons. One, the way that the cockpit is designed to like actually slide like the actual fighter, and you can actually have it start like this. But you can put a guy in and actually have the cockpit like slide back, which is how it's supposed to work. And then you have the Locus foils is like way cooler, arguably. Like it's just the landing gear goes up, this goes down like this, and boom, you're ready to fly this thing. And this like just has such a good wingspan. It looks so good. It's the same wingspan length as the ARC 170, and yet it feels bigger because it has this huge underside fin to it that you can fly around. So I don't know. This has always been one of my favorite starfighters, only because of the cool like function that it has, and that's like its landing gear can come down when you raise this up, and this goes up, and this is how it like just lands. That's so cool. So as far as like takeoff, I'd have to say the Torn B19 Starfighter. Now, as far as swooshable, the lighter the ship, the easier it is to swoosh around. So obviously number one's going to be the Z95 Headhunter. And this one's a pretty easy ship too. The landing gear goes in pretty easily. And then all you have to do with this hand is fly it like this. And you can just hold it on the back. It has a pretty nice grip, and you can do a lot of different swirls and stuff with it. And also, the only functionality of this set really is the huge rubber missile, and you can fire that with one hand. You don't need two hands. You just pull it down with this hand, and then it'll just fire. Like, that's really simple to do with just one hand, holding the gunship with the other, and just flying in. Boom, rubber missile, kill a couple battle droids you've set up downstairs. That's probably the best one. Second to best one, I'd probably say, is the ARC 170. It has a similar shape to the Z95 Headhunter. You could hold it here. You could not activate the flip-fire missiles down here with one hand. At least that would be extremely difficult. I guess you kind of could, but it'd be very awkward, and you'd have to like try to really press it. And these are flip-fire missiles. They're not the spring-loaded ones, so you actually have to have force to it, so they wouldn't really go far. But I'd say this is the second one. This one you can pretty well swoosh around, but there's not really a good place on the back to grab it, and there's like an awkward landing bay thing down here. This one I'd say is probably number 3, just because the only way really to fly this ship is to grab it by the underside fin, and it's not that this is not the sturdiest fin to grab it on. It definitely does not feel that sturdy. So I guess maybe you could grab it from the back, but there's not really a good spot to grab because there's all this gear and Technic stuff. So you kind of have to be a little gentle swooshing this around with one hand. You could get a little rough with it with two hands, but with one, you know, it kind of just is not that mobile, and so might not be as fun to bring in a gunship to a mock battle with that one. We kind of went over functionality again. You know, these two have flick-fire missiles. This one has a flick-fire missile. This one has a spring-loaded one that can activate by one finger, which also adds to the playability, which is also nice. Overall, which Starfighter do I think would be the coolest to bring in to a battle? We could just meet in the middle, and this could be me being a little partial because there is one fighter here that is my objective favorite of all Republic Starfighters, and that's the ARC 170. I think the ARC 170 looks the best. I think that it's just a classic look. I remember watching Revenge of the Sith and seeing this, and like hearing General Kenobi talk to Captain Jag, and then just like on your tail, General Kenobi, and then it's just lock of swirls, and then you saw these ARC 170s go, and that was just a cool scene. This is a cool ship to fly around, even though it's mainly for space. It's still a cool ship, and so if you want like a cool looking convoy of fighters happening, you know, just fly this ARC 170 bad boy in, and then bring in a gunship to land right there, and then have this guy fly off. And once you land the gunship, then you can fire, you know, the spring-loaded missiles. Like, it does have missiles, it does have functions. I think that it is, you know, it has that playable function where you can bring it off the ground and actually do something that makes it look like it's in attack mode. And then it has enough swooshability, I guess, to please any kid. And then it does have functions that you can use. And so, yeah. And it also, you can also put up plenty of minifigs in, which means if you make this crash, you can have like a separate storyline of like these 3 pilots plus the astromech have to survive now, versus if that crash, you have 1 pilot. If that crashes, you have 1 pilot. So there's a little bit more wiggle room for story here. Why did I make this video? I don't know. I just saw like I had these 3 Republic Starfighters, and I was just remembering back to the days where I would just do these fun battles, sometimes with friends, sometimes by myself, and just thought to myself, yeah, what would be my go-to fighter to use in just like a play battle? It'd definitely be the ARC 170. I mean, the B19 Torrent and the Z95 Headhunter, those are good ships. And you see them in a lot of battles. I mean, to be fair, one of the coolest battles, I think, in the Clone Wars is the one on Kadavo with Plo Koon leading in his Dry Starfighter. And then you have a bunch of Z95s with Warthog in one of them. And then you have a bunch of gunships coming down to try to save the slaves that are on that planet. That's a cool scene to reenact, and in that case you would need this. It is case specific. As far as Arc 170s go, getting paired with gunships, you don't see that a lot. I think the only time you see that really is in the Citadel arcs, if you wanted to remake that, or reenact that scene, then you need an Arc 170. So I guess this is another category. As far as reenacting different battles, the V19 Torrent and the Z95 Hunter would definitely be up there, higher than the Arc 170. The Clone Wars didn't use the Arc 170 a lot. They kind of like instantly went to the Z95. Also, the Z95 you can use in the Darkness of Umbara, which is also really good. So actually, I think this would probably come in at number 1 as far as what you can use that for. The Y-Wing Starfighter, you could use that for the second Battle of Geonosis if you have it, except those were red. So if you're a little picky, because LEGO's only made a yellow one, I don't know if you want to use those, but nonetheless, I'd say if you're making up your own battle, you're not specifically going off of a reenactment, definitely would choose the Arc 170. I think that's a cool and somewhat underrated fighter, to be honest, in the Clone Wars TV show. They kind of just went right to the Z95, and I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's my video. Don't know why I made it, but there's the video. So this is sort of serious. Like, comment, and subscribe down below. I will most definitely never do one of these videos again, but I thought I might as well because it seemed fun, and it was fun. So I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.